Welcome back, friends. Hey, it's Brian with BG Model Workshop, and we're doing our update, stash update, and our report on the ACME show in Smyrna, Georgia. I tell you what, folks, that is a big deal. It's a big deal for them. It's a big deal for us. It's just a big old deal, and I really must say that next year, the 25th anniversary, that's probably going to be an even bigger deal. So if you can, you've got a year. But if you can plan it out, if you can make it happen, please do so, because it's going to be awesome. Me and Mrs. BG are already talking about going, and we're talking about getting a room at the host hotel this time. We had a room at the hotel that was the next street over, and according to our Google Maps, it said that it was a 3-minute walk, which was awesome. I can handle a 3-minute walk, no problem. But what Google Earth didn't tell us was that between the time they made the map and when we got there, somebody had put in a forest, a ravine, and a very high fence. So we had to walk the, well, I did. Mrs. BG wasn't doing it. But we had to walk up to the main road, which I believe was Windy Hill, which is a very heavily used road. It's very heavily trafficked. And to just drive the car up to that road, make a left turn, make another left turn down the road that the host hotel was on. That was going to be like a 25-30 minute type of thing. So it was actually faster for me to just walk over. But the thing that Google Earth didn't tell us was that it was uphill both ways. So we were a little tired when we got there, but we still got a chance to visit with some folks Saturday evening. We had an absolute blast. It was just awesome. But before I get into model kits and all the thank yous and stuff, I want to just say this first off. Going to a show like that for me it's a big deal in many ways. Chief among them is that going to a show like that, where there's so much commotion, so many people, lots of stuff on the table, lots of stuff to look at, lots of noises going on, lots of talking, and then a guy in the PA system screaming his lungs out. It's very overwhelming for me. It's extremely overwhelming for me. But and I was very concerned about how I was going to do when I got there. I was carrying a lot of stress about how that was going to be. But bless Mrs. BG, bless her heart. She was actually she was there for me, and she's my rock. So I want to say a special thank you to her, because not only does she put up with BG Model Workshop and its antics, but she also puts up with me. And traveling can be kind of a stressful deal for me, being extremely tall and asthmatic and all the other type of wonderful things that come along with being human. She's there for me. She makes sure I'm okay, and I love her for it. So again, thank you, Mrs. BG, for being there for us and helping us out. All right. So as I said, it's a very overwhelming type of show, and it was so overwhelming to the point that I forgot to take pictures of anything. That's right. I did not snap a single bloody picture of anything, but I was just, I spent most of my time just talking to folks. We met so many people that if I tried to list them, I would forget somebody. You know, you see us say this in other channels and stuff. It's a legit thing, man. I want to go through and list people and talk about the folks that we talk to, but that would do the other folks that I forget to mention, that would do them a disjustice. So I would disjustice, is that a word? Okay, it is a word now. Okay, disjustice is a word now. So it would do them as a dishonor. So I apologize if I forget anybody, but I just do want to say thanks to a few folks. First off, I want to say thank you to Mr. Rick Zink, because he was handing out his signature skeletons at the meet and greet. So both Mrs. BG and I got a skeleton, and I think I'm going to modify mine by putting a little goatee on this one. And I asked Mrs. BG how she wanted to modify hers, and she said it thinks that she should have boobs. So we'll let her deal with that. I'm not gonna go in. We're just gonna let that lie where it is. But yeah. Oh my, I love her. But let's see here. Where did it get to? It's upside down. That's why I can't see it. It's on the white tabletop. And here we go. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Monty Davis for giving us one of his business cards as Santa. This is awesome. I can show this now to my nephews and let them know that I know Santa Claus. I have an inside line, and they better watch out. So there we go. Santa is real. I've been a believer for forever, and I now have his phone number, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else we got going on in the news? Oh, Mrs. Candy, Mrs. BAS Dry Dock, she was handing out these little pins, and let's get this a little closer. I have a goober up there, right there. She's handing out these pins, and it says, member of the BBB Club, and that's the Brian's Ballbuster Club. And I tell you what, TSA was giving me a hairy eyeball because of that nuclear symbol. So I took that off and stuck it into my luggage so that they didn't have much of a beef about that, because we did want TSA to go nice and smoothly. There has been times in the past where it hasn't, and that's a whole other video, so we'll go on to that some other time. But I just got to say that talking to everybody that we watch on YouTube, and we chat with text or whatever, or maybe do a live feed or something like that once in a while, actually being able to shake somebody's hand or give them a hug or pick their pocket, it was a really awesome thing to just be able to do so. And Papa Dan, if you can't find your wallet, I know where it's at. But I must say that we did have a lot of fun talking to folks. There was a point where Mrs. BG was kind of standing off to the side by herself, just taking a breather from probably me, but just taking a quick breather, and she was approached by Vicky, Fred's wife, and they got to talking and chatting, and they just struck up a great conversation. Vicky's a very, very sweet lady. We got to meet Patty, Jeff's wife. She's a very awesome lady herself. She's just a kick in the pants, and she keeps Jeff not really on a leash, but she keeps him reined in pretty well. and then there's Patty. I just said Patty. Duh. I mean Susan. Sorry, Susan. Susan, Mrs. Mack. She is an absolute treasure. I got to talk to her for a little while at the host hotel the last evening before everybody left town. I got to talk to her for a little while, and she's just an amazing lady. Mr. Mack, you're a very lucky man. So yeah. Let's see here. It was a little weird talking to folks that we got to, see on YouTube and stuff like that. It was a little weird for me because I'm like, wow, these people, because a lot of these folks have such awesome personalities and everything on camera and stuff. And like Fred, Mr. Fred Henry, because I had done imitation videos of some of the folks in the community over the last year, I was wondering how many times I was going to get punched in the stomach. But now Fred gave us a big old handshake and a hug and a welcoming, and he's just a great guy. We got to talk to Styrene Monkey. He's a fun guy, I tell you guys what. Mr. Rick Zink, he's amazing. Rick from Heartbeat Model Shop, he's awesome. Although Cletus smells kind of weird, I'm just saying. But oh gosh, we all went out to dinner the night after the show. We were sitting at this gigantic round table. I was sitting directly across from Charlie Mack, and I tell you, that guy has some pretty good ears, because he was hearing just about everything I was saying and muttering, and I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, but Brian from BAS Dry Dock, he's an awesome guy. It just his laugh just tickles me, because it's a genuine, honest laugh. And his wife Candy, whom I think should also get an MVP award, because she was having to shuttle him around. There was stories about airports that were kind of harrowing. There was she sounds like she's somebody who's a lot stronger than she looks, so I'd be aware of her. That's not somebody I want to make mad. But yeah, she's an awesome lady too. And a lot of us in the community tease Brian and give him a hard time. Well, nobody can tease Brian or give him a hard time like she can. So we all take second seat to that. Let's see here. What else we got to talk about? Our good friend John Weber. Now, you guys heard me talk about John once in a while on the channel before, and he's actually been in Scale Auto magazine at least once that I know. They did a spread on him, and he was the one who invited us to go to NNL West with him. So we invited him to go to NNL to ACME with us, and he was really excited to go. He took a couple of his builds, which are absolutely immaculate. They're beautiful builds. Well, he ended up getting one of the top 10 also. So me and Mrs. BG either knew of or were friends with like 2/3 of the guys up there that were getting awards. That was just unreal. It was so cool. It was so cool to see our friend get an award like that. It was just awesome. We bumped into George Ramos. He's a good friend of ours also. We chatted with him for a while. We also got to spend some time talking to Pablo Santiago. He's just an amazing guy. So knowledgeable about the world of 3D printing. Mrs. BG was just picking his brain for all it was worth. She just stacked up the information on that. And then, let's see, gosh, she got to talk to Monty Davis for a while. I was bouncing around doing stuff. I was just all over the place because I wanted to see and experience everything all at once. But Miss BG, she got to talk to Monty Davis, and she's got this awesome talent where she can talk to you for just a little bit, and in the first 15 minutes she'll know everything she needs to know about you, and then she'll come back and tell me all the stories and stuff, and I'm like, that is so cool. That's so cool. So Monty had shared some really great stories with her about becoming Santa Claus in the process and everything like that, so she thought that was really cool. But she did have to take an early night because we got back to our hotel, and that was a lot of walking and just standing for her. And she was having some problems. She's having some mobility issues. Her legs are kind of cramping up on her a little bit, and so she wanted to stay behind, have a hot bath and like that. So that's when I went for my exploration over to the other hotel. But that's one of the reasons why we want to choose doing the host hotel next time, so that we can just pop downstairs, visit for a while, and if she has to take a break, she can. So there's 11.5 minutes of the show recap. I did say that it was a little bit kind of weird meeting folks for the first time face to face, but I loved it. I would not trade that experience ever again. But there is one person that I saw at the show that I talked to quite frequently, and I was perfectly comfortable in his company, and that was Papa Dan, because he is somebody that I do consider a good friend, and I just wanted to spend more time talking to him, but I didn't get a chance to, and I did get to meet Colonel Reb, Tommy. He's a great guy too. And then, of course, Rambler 69. I heard him talk. I was talking to Dylan, and I heard Rambler 69 talking behind me, and I'm like, oh, that's Rambler 69, or the guy from the Motel 6 commercial. So I turned around, and it was Tom from Rambler 69. So yeah, it was great seeing him. Jeez, there's just so many good. Tim Halsey was there. Got to talk to him for a while. I saw some of the, he showed me some of the stuff he brought. Amazing builder. Oh my God, so amazing. I really know. I was talking to Joe Thompson about this earlier, and he said that when he went to ACME for the first time, he was like, "Damn, I got to step up my game. I got to get me some learning on how to paint." And I was like, "Oh, it's a great story, Joe." And then I went to ACME, and I was like, "Damn, I got to get me some learning on how to paint, because I know where I need to step up my game." All right, so enough babbling, as some people in the community like to say. I'd like to say to Mr. Mad Genius, Mr. Joe, that thank you very much for the Daytona Johnny Lightning car. Now, Joe had to shelve the kit, or actually circular file the kit, because it was that bad. But apparently this is the only good thing about it, and he did not want the memory of that kit anymore, so he sent me the car, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe. That's going to go up there on my Hot Wheels shelf, and that's going to be, I use Hot Wheel as all small diecast, it's like Kleenex. It's facial tissue, but we all call it, all facial tissue is known as Kleenex these days. But this will go up there with my other favorite cars, and thank you so much there, Mr. Joe. We're going to start off with the oldest kit that we bought, which is this one here, the Pyro. This is the Vintage Brass Car Series by Pyro, and this kit is from 1967. How about that, huh? So it's 1909 Cadillac 30 Tourer, and 30 actually means it's the horsepower the engine produces. So that's how they would designate the cars at that particular time, was by the horsepower ratings. Here's some pretty nice words, nicely scripted. But this is a 1/32 scale kit. I've not done one of those before, so I have done small scale stuff like 1/72 armor. This can't be too different. So we have our air quotes brass bright work here, and then some beautiful looking vinyl tires. So there's not a bit of flash on here. So I'm pretty happy about that. So that's going to be kind of fun, and we can get more in depth in that because we're running short on time. The next kit that we happened to stumble across was this dude here. This is the Those Famous Fords edition by Testers. And this is actually an IMC kit that's been reboxed by Testers. It's a beautiful kit. I'm not going to open it right now because there are a few loose pieces and they go everywhere. But as you can hear, yeah, it's beautiful, beautifully done. I've always wanted a Mark IV for my GT40 collection, so I was happy to get that. I happened to spy that one, and I know that Mrs. BG has the Cougar 2 in her collection. This one here, we were hunting on the floor. Me, Dylan, and Linda were hunting around for kits for him, because he came up to us and said, "I've got money in my pocket. I haven't spent it on anything here yet." And Linda was like, "Oh, hell no, son. We're going to go learn how to shop. We're going to teach you how to model shop." So we're like, he's like, okay. So we took him around, and we went to a couple of tables and helped him pick out some stuff, and then also helped him get some deals because Linda's a pretty good haggler. But this is the 69 Corvette 427 Coupe. This one is molded in orange. Boom! Look at that. Isn't that fancy? When I opened up the box and took a look inside, both me and Dylan at the same time literally said, "Ooh, orange." so that was definitely going in the stash. Another Corvette that we happened to snag is this monogram one. This is the Indy pace car, the official pace car, unlike the liars that are out there. But this is a 1/24 scale, since it's a monogram, of course. But I am a monogram man. I like the monogram kits. I always thought they did fairly well. And yeah, I did not have a Corvette of this vintage in my stash. This was sealed when I got it, but I did a kit bust on it to check it out. Decals are perfect, tires are great, brakes are good, tires are fair. If you know the song I'm thinking about. And then this guy, oh boy, look at that, huh? It's a Datsun Fairlady 240Z 1971 Safari Rally winner, if you guys aren't able to read that. But this is the Hasegawa kit, and Mrs. BG has a Hasegawa Fairlady, regular stock street version in her stash, and I've been wanting this particular rally kit, and I know she would not be happy with me if I tried to modify her stock kit into this. So I was like, yeah, I found this saves me. But it does come with the off-road tires. I believe it has a higher stance, extra auxiliary lights and such, and a nice looking roll cage and stuff like that inside there. I do believe it is a curbside. There is no engine detail in it, but I don't mind because it's such a cool kit. So there's that. And finally, the cut the grass. This is the this completes the Batmobile collection. Boom, there we go. The Batmobile from, what was this one here? Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, or I think it should also be subtitled Your Mom's Name Martha Too. So if you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this box weighs tens of ounces. It is packed solid, full of styrene. It's also sealed on the moon. Apparently, it's vacuum sealed. Here is your Mobius instruction book. It's actually stapled together. All kinds, nice looking graphics and stuff in there. So that's going to be hopefully pretty straightforward to build. Beautiful looking tires. Look at that. That is so cool. And then those are the rear tires. Here's the front tires. And then I do have a Batmobile in my stash that has bat symbols on the tires. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Not that you can't trace those wherever it went. But got some transparent pieces here. And then the rest of it is just full of bits and bobs, seats, all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so that's pretty awesome there. We'll have to do an open box review on that some other date because we are running long and this is getting boring. So there we go. Now this is my stash report. This is just my half of what we got. Mrs. BG has a whole other stack of stuff here she needs to talk about, and we're going to pan to the side here. Pan to the side. Everything's a pan. And that's her stack of stuff she needs to talk about. So hopefully we can rope her into doing a stash report this evening when she gets home from work, if she's not too tired or blown up or anything like that. So yeah. There's always hope. So that's our stash report. That's our update. Everything on the bench is on hold right now because when I go on a big trip like this, doing a big show, I usually take about a week off to recuperate, regroup, and rebuild the kits that got messed up or whatever, during travel or something like that. So we're going to take a little break. My friend John, he's moving, and he gave us some new rack shelving stuff. I'm going to redo the stash racks here. So that's going to be quite the project. I'm actually kind of anxious to get started on that. So we're going to do that here in a little bit. But in the meantime, it's almost the weekend. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. And thanks for tuning in again. Bye now.